Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I don't want to get copyright strike. Do 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 do. Yeah, so if you know the reference I am referring to here, go ahead and leave it in the comments and you'll get a lovely thumbs up. But anyway, if you didn't know, SPK got a revamp, refurbishment, modernization, whatever. So let's get straight into it. So first, obviously, it got a lovely, nice paint job. A lovely Crusader blue on the exterior from the grey that was before. And that blue obviously carries on into the interior, which we'll get to. The defences had a bit of an upgrade. The gone from these sort of satellites that are apparently missing guns in 317 to these big ass size 10 turrets. They also have the ability to fire missiles, so you will eventually run out of chaffs and flares if you hang around too long. And the turrets and the pads are still the same. And the usual hiding spot under the pads, you can still get under there, hide from the turrets. A little safety, which you will need if you don't have the new retake the SPK mission. They also added some cover. You've got these big container boxes, which you may need to hide from also the cops that now patrol the pads outside. So you have to be careful when approaching one of the airlocks so you don't get shot or obviously kill the cops. Right, let's go ahead and jump into SPK. A little comparison going on here between the two, what it used to be and what it is. Pillars go, the blue comes in. Blue is the kind of theme, goes all the way through SPK. Reception bit in the middle, cafeteria bit here to have a cup of tea and coffee, and then you have a little area on the far side to fill in your TPS reports and watch your former shift go on home to their families. Now we flip over to the other side of the station. This room on the top is going to disappear. This wall here is going to get pulled all the way back and it's going to get turned into the contraband room, which is this room here. And you can see up top we have this area on the roof of the contraband room which you can shoot down. There's two access points to it. This room here basically gets, well, it just disappears and you now will have a vent to go onto that area on top of the contraband room. So you could drop down on people that are in the room and get them by surprise if they didn't hear you crawling along the top. Now above, we used to have this vent that would drop into that room. That's gone. It's going to get pushed back to fall onto the contraband room. So that vent gets slightly altered. You now drop down there, and where the vent used to be, well, I say vent, wet grill, gets covered up with kind of space ghibli stuff. Now we jump back into the middle area. Once again, kind of facelifted to blue, kind of the theme. Not much in the way of changes. The door in the back here gets removed. That gets filled in because the contraband room is behind there. And a couple little bits of cover, but mainly it kind of stays the same. And this wall at the back here gets the new console that you would type in the code to start the contraband, which you can see right there. Now, one thing about this room is I don't like is, and it's my opinion, it is very much a kill box. You are surrounded by elevated position of windows. You have getting attacked from the ground level on both sides. It's very much a kill box.
We're dead. Your unit is covered from an elevated position, Commander. I'm not gonna ask again. Don't do anything stupid.
And of course they've added these little elevator doors, the spawn closet for the cops. There are multiple doors on multiple levels now as well. And that pretty much covers the physical changes to the interior and exterior. Now, other than contraband mission, which we'll get to, the only other reason to come to SPK is mainly to get rid of your crime stat. If you hit a CS3 now, you have to hack away your crime or go to prison. Now they have radically reduced the time for the initial hack on the console. As you can see here, it is dramatically shorter. And hacking away the crimes like homicide are a lot quicker as well. So let's go ahead and talk about the SPK contraband mission event. It's not a mission that you can take in your mobiGlas. It is a sort of event that you trigger by doing a certain set of actions. Those actions being that you kill enough cops, the boss spawns, you kill the boss, and you get a pad off him that has a code, and this allows you to unlock the contraband room, and it starts spewing out contraband that you can take and go sell. Now, how you want to approach this mission, there's kind of multiple ways. I guess it's kind of on your own playstyle. You can just fly in, eject, go in, kill the cops, do your thing. Unfortunately, that kind of makes it difficult to take the drugs away from the station, as well, you need a ship. So ideally you want to get under the pad with a ship that has some sort of storage in it that you can put the boxes down in. Alternatively, you can take the counter mission to this event that does show up in the mobiGlas called Retake Security Post Kareah. This will allow you to land on the pad, but if you do kill cop or the boss while on the pad, the turrets will blow you up. So it's good if the contraband mission has already been triggered, because you can kill the person who triggered it, because they're not supposed to be there. That's part of the mission, and just grab the boxes, pop them in your ship and fly away. Now, if you were to approach SBK from the point of not having the Retake SBK mission, you're probably going to want to turn off the comms array so that you don't get crime charges for killing the cops, because once you hit CS3, it's going to give you a bounty on your character, and it pretty much gives you a god marker. So anybody who comes to kill you for that bounty has a wall hack. They can see exactly where you are in the facility and kill you. It's kind of dumb, but hopefully change that someday with the new bounty system. But alternatively, you can hack away your crime as you kill the cops. So if you didn't take down the comms rate, or say somebody turned it back on while you were doing the mission, you can hack away that crime stat as you progress through the event. So once you've killed enough cops, a boss will spawn in heavy armor. He is very spongy, so what I like to do, because there are loot containers around SBK, while I'm going around killing the cops to spawn him, I will check those boxes and grab some grenades. Once the boss is spawned, chuck a grenade at his feet. Obviously it will cause damage to him. It also put him on his back, so he'll be slightly staggered, and you can unload a magazine of ammo into him. You might have to do 2 magazines of ammo. Ideally, if you had a grenade launcher or a railgun, that'd be very handy to kill him. Once he's down, go loot him, and in his chest piece should be this pad. Now you want to move this pad into your inventory, and then you want to inspect this pad, and when you look at the pad in your hand, there'll be a code. Now you want to go over to the new console on the back wall opposite of the hacking terminal, and enter the code, and click the button at the bottom to dispense of the contraband, and head over to the contraband room. The door should now be able to be unlocked. Go on in, and straight ahead is where the boxes will be dispensed. On the right is a progress bar, so you can see how long till the next box comes out and how many boxes will be dispensed. It's not always the exact same quantity of boxes. It varies from like 16 to like 21. So, and the boxes you get are always randomized. Now when it hits its target and all the boxes have been dispensed, and then basically you want to make your way to your ship wherever you have it, probably under a pad. Once you have your ship loaded, you're going to obviously get the hell out of there, try not to get shot, and you're going to want to head to one of the no questions asked terminals to sell the contraband. The nearest one is the one on Daymar. They will pretty much buy everything. The one at Grimhex doesn't buy everything at this moment in time, so usually better to head to that one. It's more risky because you're not protected in a hangar like you are in Grimhex, so keep an eye out for ships around when you're landing. There's actually 2 areas. There's a crashed caterpillar and an outpost nearby, so you might see ships nearby as well on that location. Now this is all kind of from a solo perspective, which I've mainly done from SBK. I've done it in groups. Ideally you kind of want 2 people, so you want the criminal person to go in, start the mission, trigger it, and then you want your teammate to take the retake mission so that your teammate can land on the pad and they can load it into the ship. It's just easier than trying to traverse from gravity to 0 gravity under the pad and load it in. It's a more easier way of doing it. Plus your teammate who has the retake mission can actually see all the cops, because they'll have the little chevrons above their head of the cops, so they know where all the cops are. They can call out, there's a dude upstairs coming down, or alternatively, if another player turns up with the retake mission, you'll also be able to see their chevron, and you can see, there's a ship approaching, he's landed on pad so and so, he's coming in the airlock, and you kind of give your teammate the call outs. Now, kind of a little thing, you can actually shoot out the turrets, so you could, if you had a group, you could take out the turrets and land on the pads without needing to have the retake mission. That is an option. It's obviously you need a large group, and there's a lot of turrets to kill. Now, and also regards to the retake mission, basically it will give you a mission to retake SPK. It'll give you, when you arrive, it'll say there's 1 out of so many people still alive. You kill that person, you get money for killing that person, and you get money for clearing out the station, and then you obviously get your 15 minutes to leave the area because you'll be trespassing. Now let's get into the value of the boxes, how much you're going to get for each type of box. Now this is PTU, the boxes have actually changed a couple of times of what actually gets dispensed. This is what it is currently, the boxes that I've seen and their current values. This obviously could change before we go live. I will have all this information in the description, so obviously once the mission has gone live, I will obviously be playing it quite a bit, and I will update any of the information below if any of the boxes have been like removed, if new boxes have been added, or you know, changes. Now there is a couple of boxes that do not have value, they're just kind of random boxes, for example like these ones. And then there's also the Pico. Now the Pico you can't sell, but it is a very unique Pico as it has an inventory, and in that inventory is more drugs which you can sell. Now these are just a little sachet sort of drugs. They're not worth a huge amount, but there's a fair amount of quantity to them. So when you add it up, it's an okay kind of profit, but it's not amazing. But it is a kind of cool sort of thing, like a Pico stuffed full of drugs. Now that kind of brings us to the end of the video. There's one more little morsel I'm going to add. I'm only adding it at the end because it might not make it into live. I believe there's some issues getting it to work. It happened at the beginning of the PTU cycle. There is a kind of red alert sort of ambient lighting and sounds going off when the base is being attacked. It's a really cool kind of ambience to the event. I really hope they get this to work. Ignore all the knocked out guards. Apparently knocking out guards doesn't count, doesn't get the boss to spawn. That's why there's a lot of knocked out guards that kept spawning and kept knocking them out, but it wouldn't trigger the boss. But this is a really kind of cool thing. I hope they manage to get into it before it goes live. But go ahead, hit that thumbs up, thumbs down, leave a comment, sub, bell, blah blah blah, all that jazz that you have to add at the end of every video apparently. But thanks for watching, I hope to see you in the verse, and have a great rest of your day. Peace out.